There are two things that came to mind when I saw that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding was officiated by none other than Adam Sandler. The first one was that he is a Zionist. And so if you are one of the people who's been wondering why she hasn't said anything about Israel and Palestine, this is why, because you wouldn't like what she has to say. The second is that this is absolute pick-me behavior, in my opinion. Having Adam Sandler officiate your wedding, but likely in basketball shorts. Like, okay, I'm gonna build this whole thing out. We're gonna build a castle in Madison Square Garden. We're gonna shut down an entire metro area of the biggest city in the country during a heat wave. Everyone's gonna wear what I want them to wear. We're gonna play the music that I want them to play, but you know what? You can have the officiant. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like the entire thing is probably Taylor Swift branded down to a T. Everything has her vibe written all over it. And then the one thing that she let him do was pick the officiant. The reason that I can say with confidence that this is a pick-me move is because, my friends, I will shamefully admit, this is similar to something that I did. So I was engaged in 2016. I did end up getting married, and my now ex-husband, then fiance, was a huge fan of Joe Rogan's comedy. I don't even know if the podcast existed at that point. Maybe it had been around, but I don't think he was listening to it. We had gone to see his stand-up sets together, and I was, you know, for the most part, planning the wedding and making most of the decisions. And I got this bright idea, like, what if I could get Joe Rogan? Sent a DM, thank God. It was never opened. Thank God he did not respond, because how horribly that would have aged. It would have been cool to have like a celebrity comic do your wedding, not when he ended up being what he ended up being. So anyway, I say this because I attempted to do something like that too, but I'm not Taylor Swift, so I couldn't get Joe Rogan to officiate my wedding. I couldn't get Adam Sandler to officiate my wedding, even if my ex-husband had wanted him to. I also would not have had Adam Sandler officiate my wedding, because I would not want my wedding to be officiated by a Zionist, especially when I'm on such a public stage, especially if I have not made my position on the issue known. If you are pro-Palestine, there is no way that you are having a liberal Zionist officiate your wedding. It's just not going to happen, because you would have a spine and you would say, okay, you know, Travis, I know The Wedding Singer is one of your favorite movies. I know Happy Gilmore is one of your favorite movies. We can invite them, but we're not going to have Adam Sandler officiate our wedding, because that is going to reflect on us and our politics. Liberal Zionism is just a pipeline to MAGA. The number of formerly liberal, pro-Israel people I know who have abandoned liberalism, democracy completely, because they are one issue voters on Israel, because they're so firmly pro-Israel, those people are right-wing, because Israel is right-wing. To say nothing of the fact that there was at least one Kushner in attendance. We don't know if the others were invited. So yeah, for anyone wondering where does Taylor Swift stand on Israel, I think that having your royal wedding officiated by a Zionist makes a pretty clear statement. Now, of course, there's always plausible deniability, and I'm sure people are going to say, well, just because a Zionist officiated her wedding doesn't mean that she's a Zionist. Correct. However, it also means that she's not anti-Zionist. And that's the answer, babe. That's the answer. Critical thinking, we love to see it. Bye.